everybody, this is Bonnie from Bonnie's Creative Place, and I am back with card number 4 from our Garden Meadow online class. And this is the bundle that we used. This is the card that we are going to make. I don't know if the camera is picking it up very well, but it's a setup card like this, and then you can open it and have a little greeting inside. And yeah, or they could write on the back if you wanted to. There's a lot of different ways, but it sits up as a display card like that. I also brought in the birthday greeting, go-to greetings for the happy birthday. But if you have something already that says happy birthday, use what you have. And then the other thing that we will be using is the brick and mortar die or embossing folder. Okay, so let's get started. We'll put these out of the way for now. All right, the first thing we got to do is we got to do some cutting. Now, I'm going to put our original card out of the way here, and I am going to bring in my template. This is my template. You should always make a template from copy paper, from some old scrap paper, some discontinued paper, before you work on your original one, so that way you have a backup, and then you know when you get your first one how it's done. So you're going to take out of your little packet that you get, you're going to take out the base white card, and this base card is 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to bring in our cutter here, and we are going to start. We're going to do our scoring first. So on the 8.5 inch side, you're going to put it in, and you're going to put it in a 3 1/4. We're going to have to open up the arm too, because we will need that. So we're going to put it at 3 1/4. So put it right in, line it up at 3 1/4, and you are going to score. So you're going to score at 3 1/4. Then you're going to scoot over to 4 1/4, and we are going to score. But we're going to score only in the middle. So what that means is you have to start at the 1 inch line. So we're going to start at the 1 inch line, and we're going to score over, because if you come in at 5.5 here, you got to stop at 4.5. So we're going to start at the 1 inch line, and to know how to do this, the 1 inch line, on these little score marks, there are little lines. So if you line, you might not be able to see it in the camera, but if you line it up right with the 1 inch on this side of your score, so if you put it in the 1 inch, and then you're going to stop at the 4 1/4 or 4.5 inch. So we're going to score all the way over to 4.5, and we're going to stop. And then we're going to come back. If you go over a little bit, it's not the end of the world, but that's where you just want to score in the middle. So we've done that. And so now you're going to go ahead and you are going to scoot over to the 6.5 inch line. So we're going to go all the way up to 6.5. Now this time we're only going to score 1 inch on each end. So we're going to come down here, and we're going to score up to the 1 inch line. So we're going to score up to 1 inch. Go back and forth. I like to do it a couple times. Then we're going to pick up. We're going to go over to the other end. We're going to put our thing back down. And now this time we're going to score over to the 4 1/4. And we're going to score back. So now you have that. Now we're going to go to the 7.5 inch score line. 7.5 right here. And we are going to do the same thing. We're going to score, well, we're at this end this time. So we'll score from here, and we're going to go to the 4.5. 4.5. Then we're going to pick this up, bring it all the way down, and then we're going to score to the 1 inch. Just to the 1 inch. Okay? So now we have that done. So now we have our score lines all in here. You can't see mine on the camera, but it should look something like this. You have score lines here where you scored, at the 3 1/4, and actually I scored all the way across and we were not supposed to. We were only supposed to score 1 inch up here, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Then down here, we went down and we scored in the middle, only in the middle, and then we did our 2 ends. What I meant that I told you the very first score line, you know how I scored all the way across? You didn't want to do that. We wanted to do it like we did down here. You only wanted to score over 1 inch and over 1 inch. I hope that didn't confuse you. So now we're going to put this in, and we're going to put this in on the 1 inch mark. Now we're going to get our cut mark out. We are going to cut. We're going to put this right on the 1 inch line, and we're going to cut all the way up to the 5 1/4 inch mark line. At that score line that we put across there, that comes up to the 5 1/4 inch. So we're going to cut all the way up, and we're going to stop when your mark is on 5 1/4 on the side. Okay, if you're not sure, you can peek. I'm right there, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is you can either scoot it over or you can flip it over. I'm going to just scoot it over here to the 1 inch on this side this time. I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to push this down. I'm going to put this at 1 inch first. Then I'm going to push it down. And then I'm going to score all the way up to the 5 1/4 inch. So we're going to cut all the way up to the 5 1/4, from 1 inch to 5 1/4. You can take a look. Oops, I need to go up just a head bit more. There we go. So now we have our scores. So we have it just like this. So now you're going to score these 2 down like this. You're going to score this one up like this. Then this one here, that's right down here, you're going to score them down like that, and this one back towards you. So you should have something that looks like this. So just to explain it again, you're going to score these 2 down, and this is naturally going to want to come up to you. So then you're going to score this, and we're just doing it with our fingers for right now. And then these 2 here, you're going to push this one down, and then this one will naturally want to come up. And you will have it just like that when you're done. Okay? So that is how we are going to do this. Alright, so we're going to set that part aside for a minute. Now we got to make the little flip out part that comes out on the card. So in your little kit you have a piece that is 3 1/2 by 5 or 5 1/2. So on the long side here, we are going to go and we're going to put this in at a 1/2 inch mark, and we're going to score right across. Okay, and then we're just going to score it, and we will do a better score with all this here in just a second. And I believe we're done with this for a little bit. Let's get putting some stuff together here. So we can get the template out of the way for a minute, find the little scoring tool, and we're going to score this. Give our things a really good score now that are all done, you know, with measuring and cutting it out. Stop the video as you're going along with me. I may have gone too fast. Just stop, pause it, and then do what I was telling you. Watch the video and then re-watch it. That's the easiest way to learn how to do this. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some adhesive or liquid glue. I like to use the liquid glue when I'm doing this because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of liquid glue, and then we are going to take this base. I like to open it up. I like to line it up with the bottom of the, make sure it's lined up on each side, and then I'm just going to push it over. Now I don't go right tight to the score line because you want to have a little wiggle room there. but this is what I do. And then I open it up and we are all good to go. And then you may have to, you know, re-push stuff down again. Okay. All right, so now let's get playing around with what we get to do to this card. So we're going to put this off to the side for a minute. All right, I think the next step we should go ahead and cut our DSP paper. So this is the DSP paper. Mine is different from yours because I ran out of that because I used it in on a video for online. So we're going to push this out of the way. And what you want to do is you need a piece of DSP that is 3 1/4 by 4 1/8. And so what we're going to do is we're going to turn this and we are going to cut off at the bottom. Well, actually, I'm going to do it from this side because it's easier. We're going to cut off 1 7/8 from the bottom. So 1 7/8 is if you go to the tick mark and go back 2 lines. Okay. So here we go. So we have this. We're going to get that out of the way. Now we're going to cut off 5/8 on each side. So 5/8 is your 1/2 inch and then go over 2 tick marks. So 2. And we're going to cut off 5/8. There we go. And then we're going to flip it around. And we're going to go over the 1/2 inch mark. We're going to go over 2. And we're going to cut off another 5/8. So now we have that. This is the piece that we're left with. So now we need to cut 2 that are 3/4 by 3 1/8 off from for our sides. So this piece right here is 4 inches or 4 1/8. So I'm going to cut them first at 3/4 on each side. So we're going to cut 1 at 3/4. I know they're too long, but I need the middle one to be long. And then I'm going to cut another one at 3/4. Okay. So now we have our 2 pieces, 1 for each side. And this is our middle piece. Now this one it should be 3 1/4, which it is, by 4 1/8, and it is. So this will be our middle panel that will go right here. This is our middle panel, okay? Now we need these 2 pieces, but these pieces have to be 3/8. So we're going to put it in. We got to take off 1 inch. You can decide if you want more of the top or the bottom, and I'm going to take the bottom off. So I am going to go right here at 3 1/8, and I'm going to cut it off. And then we have this little piece left. So we're going to put this one will go on the one side. I'll show you here in just a minute. And then I'm going to do this one. And this one will go on this side right here. Like so. And that one will go there. So then we have this extra DSP that we can do stuff with when we're done. But this is where they will go. I'm sorry, I'm talking and I don't have it in the camera. So these pieces will go here and this piece will go here like that. So that's how we did that. Now let's get to figuring out how did you cut out that frame, right? Okay, so let's get these out of the way. And we're going to put this down just like this. We're going to get out the frame. Oh, I'm going to put them back over here. Okay. You're going to take this frame just like so. And we're going to put it right so it lines up right to the tippy top here. Get some tear and tape, line it up in the center, and put down your tear and tape. You don't want this moving. Okay, so we want it just like that. Now this is where you have to pay attention because this is what is going to make this work. Okay, we're going to put platform 1 down, platform 2, platform 3. Now we're going to put this on here. Now when we put this last platform on, I did not want this. I'll show you the back side if you could see it. Well, you can't really see it. I did not want this cutting right straight through there and having that all floppy. So what I did was I lined this up so this stopped right here at this first score line. So if you're coming up, there's nothing here and there's a score line right there. I ended up putting this right here so that when it cuts out, it's going to stop right there. It's not going to cut that off. We're going to have to cut it off. Okay, so here we go. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to hold it, you're going to put it over to your cutter, and you're going to put it in. And we'll make sure this is good, lined up straight, just like so. And we're going to cut it through. And when you bring this back over, it's going to cut out everything, but it did not cut that part. See how that part is still in there? Like so. Well, I want to cut out that part now because I don't want that part in there anymore. I want that part cut off because I'm going to put my gate and my stuff across here. So we're just going to cut right across there. So now we're going to get our trimmer out, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to put this back in our trimmer. Ooh, careful. And we're going to line this 1 inch up with the 1 inch line because that's right where it is. We're going to scoot over to start. Well, let me get where it can see what I'm doing. Sorry if my head is in the camera, but I want to make sure that I'm not. Okay, this one starts. You can see where the line starts. And you just want to make sure that your line is on it. If you want to start a little bit over, that's fine because you can always use your scissors. And then we're just going to cut right straight across. You might feel it cut off. And if it doesn't cut off, you're going to use your scissors. And mine, okay, there. So now you're going to be ending up with this, like this. Okay? So now let's get decorating this piece. So we're going to take this piece right here, and we're going to put it over top of this piece in the back, in the middle, in the back. So we're going to put it right there. Make sure it's, yeah, make sure it's up the right way. I just wanted to make sure it was up the right way. So, okay. And I'm going to use liquid glue for this, so it gives me a little bit of a wiggle room. So you're going to take it and you're going to just add some glue along here. Okay, like so. And then we're going to take this and you can line it up with the sides and the top. It doesn't go all the way to the bottom. Make sure you don't have it on the score line up there. I almost did. And make sure you have enough on each side to catch it. And if you get any glue, like I have some glue here, this side didn't catch too well. Okay, let me see. How did that look? That looks pretty good. I know it looks weird right now, but that looks pretty good. It's going to be a little warpy, but we're going to put something on it here in just a minute. I just got to get some of the stickiness off my fingers because my glue went a little over. And if yours does that, what I want you to do is I'm going to show you here. I just have to get some of this glue off me. Okay. Take your embossing buddy, or if you have some powder, a little bit of cornstarch, whatever, Just want to make sure that's sticking down. And just dab a little bit of this along here, because you don't want this to stick to your card when you're putting it together. You don't want it to stick to the other stuff. And then just let it sit here. So what we're going to do, while we're doing some other stuff, I'm going to fold this all up like this. And I'm going to take this heavy block and I'm going to sit this on it while we are working on another part of the card. Okay, got a little powder here. All right, so now we're going to do the little brick part here. This little part that's right down here, this little brick. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get out this gray piece out of your kit. We're going to bring in, you're going to need platform 1. You're going to need the embossing folder, and then you are going to need oops, sorry, not my phone. You're going to need platform 4. Okay. And then we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it in here, and we're going to put it in this way so that you have the bricks. So it's going this way in. Okay. And we'll put this down, and then we're going to put this on top, and then we're going to run it through the machine. All right. Now what I did was I went ahead and I took a pencil, and when I took the pencil I just went and I decided how I wanted my bricks. So I looked at this and I'm like, okay, this looks cute, and I just kind of drew, and I kept going in between blocks. Of course I can't see right now. And then I came down here and I kept kind of going around some different blocks, and I came to the end, and then I came over, I don't know, however far you want to come over. It's up to you. You can go back over, come back around. I just kind of made like this pattern. There's no right or wrong. I just wanted the illusion of a brick ground. So I did something like that. I hope that's picking it up on the camera. Then I am going to take my scissors and we're going to cut on those lines. So we're just going to cut where I put this. Wherever you drew your lines, you're going to cut that. And if you don't like something, we're going to cut it off. If you don't like that one block sticking out there when you're done, then we'll cut it off. Or maybe when you're doing something you decide, oh, like me right there, I like that block there. So I decided to leave that one. And I'll just erase it with my pencil. And then I'm going to go in a little bit. So whatever you like for when you're design, you don't have to draw it with a pencil. If you want to free cut it, you can do that too. If whatever, you know. Now I'm not really a fan of this one here, so I'm just going to round it like it was a short one, like that. And I like that better. So now I'm going to get rid of this. This is all stuff you can throw away. I have a little bit of line here because I chose not to cut this one and I don't want that line to show. So I am going to attempt to erase it because I did color pretty hard to show you guys. Any pencil lines that you don't want, that you maybe missed, Just erase them. I wish I knew if there's a way to lock this eraser in. Every time I use it, it always ends up going. If anybody knows how, please let me know. I love this pencil, but the eraser always goes back in on me. Okay, so there we go. So now we've got this done. Now we are going to take a piece of scrap paper and we're going to take some gray granite ink, and I got to get the gray granite blend because I blender here. Let me see. I think, nope, that's blue. Let's see. Where's my gray one? That's pink. Oh, you know what? It's in the little, it's in my box right here. Here it is. In my box with all my supplies that I had, my little shoebox. Okay, here it is. And then we're just going to sponge this up to give it, to make those little brick walkway is what I'm going to, is what I want to call it, come to life here. Okay. Because it's getting down in the grooves and it's just really, you know, coming to life. If you don't have the brick and mortar die and you have something else, try something else. Maybe you have a different brick one that you can use. Okay, so I did that. So now we're just going to set this aside because we're done with that piece for a minute. We're going to start doing some other pieces while we're waiting for our piece to just kind of, you know, flatten back out, do its thing. Now I went ahead and I cut and stamped and did a lot of the die cutting ahead of time because this card would have been extremely long if I did not do that. I'm going to tell you some of the colors and things that I used just so you will know. I cut out the fence, so you'll get this piece of white, and I cut out the fence, and I cut this fence out, or I colored this fence with smoky slate light and dark, and then I took gray granite and I colored in between the little fences to give it like a, so it wasn't so white. So that's what I did there. Then with the bigger flowers, I cut out 2 of these and I did the same thing that I've done on the other ones. I just used the Lemon Lolly and the Mango Melody Light on both of them. And then I used the Old Olive Light and Dark to color the flowers. And then I did 3 of these ones. And I also did the same thing here with these. Was I colored them in Lemon Lolly and the Old Olive Light and Dark. And I did 3 of them. Then I stamped the Happy Birthday in the black. Now, here what I did was I went ahead and I stamped out 1 of each in the gray and in of a shovel, and I did them, stamped them both out again in the blue. And this is because I wanted handles on my, I wanted blue handles on my little tools, and then I wanted the gray for the shovels. But then I wanted height to help hold this card open, because that's what's helped, is the stopper, are these little tools like that. So I had to cut out a few more. So I ended up all together with 3 of these all together of all the tools and the handles, and plus the, so you cut 2 in blue like this. You stamp them and you die cut 2 in blue, and then you also die cut your, what is this? A watering can. So then you're going to do your watering can. And then in the gray, you're going to stamp 2 and die cut them out, and then you're going to just die cut out 2 extra. So you're going to do that, and we'll put these together here in a minute. And then you're going to take the grass, and you're going to take the piece of grass, and you're going to put one on here this way, and then you're just going to flip it around, and you're going to put one on here this way, and we are just going to cut this off. And I'll explain why we did 2 here in just a minute when we get ready to attach them on. So now you have your green pieces here. Let's attach these together so you can see what I was talking about in the glue. We've got our flowers, we got everything. So now let's start putting this card together. All right, let's bring this back in. It's sat long enough. It's kind of rested, and see how it's not bowed as much from using the glue and everything. So now we're going to go ahead and we are going to decorate this thing. So we're going to put the walkway down first. So this is my walkway. We may have to, thought maybe we might have to trim it, but we're not. You can decide, do you want more or less? I think I want more. So I'm going to do this way, and it goes out to being less. So I'm just going to use liquid glue because this will give me a little bit of a leeway. Ooh, good thing that fell the way it did. Okay, and I'm just eyeballing the center. You can, if you want it right on, you can do that. Okay, I'm just going to put this down right here, just like so. All right, now we're going to kind of work with the front here, and I'm going to try and lay it down like this so you can see the most of what I'm doing. I'm going to put these on each side. This one, I believe, yes, goes over here. And since I have the liquid glue, I'm just going to use a little liquid glue here. And this goes right here. Okay, and then this one goes on the other side over here. Just like so. Okay, there we go. Hold it down for a minute. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some of this grass. Now the reason why I had you cut 2 grasses out is because I wanted, if you look at this, there's definitely can tell that this is a bigger piece than this piece of grass. I wanted 2 of the bigger pieces of grass. So this little piece you don't need. And then we're going to need this piece here, so I just end up snipping this because I want this piece here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to line this piece of grass up here like this, and I put this piece of grass over here like so. Now if you want, you could put some DSP paper back there. I did in the original one, but then after I did it, I really kind of just liked it without it. So I didn't obviously take that apart to put it back on, but if you wanted to, you definitely could. So I'm just going to put some glue on the bottom half of this. I don't want to go too high because I don't want to be past my score line and get it on stuff. So I just kind of keep it to the bottom half. I'm lining it all the way up over to the far right and down to the bottom. And then I'm just going to put that on here just like so. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing to this piece. We're just going to apply it to the bottom half. And we're going to do the same thing. Line this up and line it down. Okay, so now we have this. So now we've got our little, what is this, fence? I had to think of what it was. Our little fence, and our fence just fits in here. Now you can come all the way down, which is what I did. I made it come all the way down to the edge right here, just like so. But before we do that, we have this little piece here. I wanted it to continue to look like the walkway, which was gray granite. So I took the brush end of it and I just kind of brushed this up just a little ways. You didn't have to go real far. So that now when I put this on here and when we have this back opened, it's all going to blend together. So now let's put this down right here. And you could just put some liquid glue all the way on the back of this. It does that. Okay. So like so. And then we're just line it up with the bottom and lining it up in between your little oval thing there. Arch that we have, and then we'll just line that right down just like so. Now we're going to go and we're going to take our flowers, and I'm going to take this flower and I'm going to put one on this side, and then I'm going to take another flower and I'm going to put it on the other side. And we can just put liquid glue on the backs of this side. I went ahead and I added the watering can. I can't remember if I popped it up. Let me look. Let me see. I did. Okay. So we're going to take some dimensionals here, and I happen to have some of these left over, so we're just going to use them up. And I'm going to put one dimensional right in the center of this, and we're going to add it right here, just like so. And then I'm going to take one of these flowers and I'm just going to add it right here. And I'm not going to put a dimensional. I think it would be too tiny. And I'm just going to put a half of the glue and let it sit on just the... If I need to add something, if I think it looks a little wonky, I can always do it later. And I'm going to add this right here. Like that. Then on this side, I added 2 more flowers. So we're going to take and put one down flat, like right here. And then this one we will add a dimensional to. I may have to trim it down a little bit. Okay. And now we're going to add a dimensional to that right there. And then you would stamp your happy birthday, like I said, in the black. And then we are going to fussy cut this out. Right here and right straight across like that. And now while I got this here, I am going to take, where did I do them? Oh, they're up here. I'm going to take another one of these little brass birds, and I'm going to take one of the little brass birds, and I'm just going to put it right there, like that. Okay, and this is the front of our card, but now let's do stuff to the inside. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to reinforce our score lines. Just because we've had it laying out flat, we've been monkeying with it. Just going to go and reinforce everything. Well, now we want this to sit open. So find out where it likes to naturally sit, kind of like that. That's what I did. And then I'm going to flip these over like this. And now we're going to take some mini glue dots here. Like this. So it was kind of a stopper. And then I put the rake on the other side. And I put the rake over here. Like so. So it kind of stops it. And then on the inside of this, you can do your writing right here. And I went ahead and I took the saying that says, I think it says, life is better. I can't imagine having a better friend. And that's what I stamped inside mine. This comes with the stamp set. So, yep. Ooh. And I just stamped it right here on the inside. There we go. And that is how I made card number 4, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Now,